My name is Molly Kihanya. I work at Microsoft and I'm the owner of the Academy business within Sales and Marketing Readiness Group. So it's a training organization. I've been working in education and industry, mostly around training and operations for the last 15 years, and really focusing on the user experience. So what I want to do is tell you a little bit about some highlights about what we call our Webcast Reimagined today. First thing I want to say is that we're really the creators, of which I am not one of them. They are the video creators. I'm the operations piece of it. The creators really pushed our Microsoft technology to the limit using our Link technology, which is chat, voice, web, video, and audio conferencing. So this is the platform where we built Live Show. And then and we're also using our Link technology to stream video up to 5 cameras at a time. And basically making this very repeatable, low cost, and so we don't have those extra costs of live broadcast video. So making it usable, workable for every budget. And also the other thing to really keep in mind is the key to this is the engaging social experience. And we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. So here, just a little outline of the things we're going to talk about. Let's keep this as interactive as possible. Please raise your hand. If we were doing a live show, you could be chatting with me right now. But raise your hand, ask questions as we go along. I definitely want to, have it a two-way street here. So this is Academy. I'm way up here, so maybe I'll jump down here for a minute. So what the platform is on our SharePoint, Microsoft SharePoint, the platform. And then when we talk about what webcasts, I'm probably messing up the mic, no. Webcasts and channels, there's the business operations that I'm in charge of. And the video and live show is my colleague, Will Flash. He's also host, and you'll see him on the video in a few minutes. But this is really the base of where we came up with Academy and working across the organizations to come up with this new innovative approach. So what is Live Show? A couple things before we turn to our demo. It's basically a talk show format using kind of 3 components. You can put your PowerPoint slides, you can have your video, and then the chat window. So it's agile, really came up with it about 6 months ago for all the launches that were happening within Microsoft. So milestone moments, when do you want to be there and talking about product launches, disclosure, really have the opportunity to be there when we need it and show some really, and make it dynamic. Video, you'll see all the different types of videos and we'll talk about that, but we're streaming live up to 5 cameras. You can have a pre-recorded video. You can have a 2 or more person video. You can have a single talking head, green screen. There's lots of different options so that you can have in your video window for a live show. And social. So think about when you're all in class and you weren't supposed to talk to each other and how fun it was to talk to each other. I mean, this is really what it's about in interactive on our chat. It's one-to-one, it's peer-to-peer, it's subject matter expert one-to-many. So you get the opportunity to chat before, during, after. And the cool thing is the presenter can move and change their content and what they're talking about based on what you want to do. And so your content in your live show is shifting based on the feedback that's real time coming in from your audience. Okay, so let me switch over and play the demo. Play demo. And I apologize, it's a little hazy.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live show. We're actually coming to you live from a studio in Redmond, and we're going to give you a live show experience. That means you get to see our presenters, and you also get to ask questions of our presenters.
And today we're going to look at competitors' earnings in Q1 of calendar year 2020. That you had a chance to videotape them and check it out. Why don't we roll tape and see what Michael has to say.
I'm sitting here with Michael Koriaran, General Manager of Commercial Market Strategies.
Now we're going to test you. We're going to see if you're actually paying attention here. So we're going to a poll, and let's see what you got. Which competitor missed consensus revenue estimates and subsequently saw their stock price go down?
So that host is Will Flash.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live show. Gretchen.
He's sort of an internal star, and also I work with him closely on with Academy. Oop, we're starting at the beginning. Sorry, guys. So basically, Will Flash works on Academy Creative Services, also the host, man of many talents, and so he's actually doing a live show this morning. It's one of our first production. We've done some pilots, and so he isn't here today, unfortunately. So let me just go through really quickly the various types of video you've seen or that we have options to do when in live show. So we saw that executive interview with Michael Goryaran. You could do a round table or role play. These are just some of the options. For pre-recorded video, we saw an interview for the pre-recorded, but you could do a case study, a pre-recorded demo, or some live footage, or event footage, not live. And then a single person, which we didn't see, but you could do a green screen, a live demo, or just a talking head, as Bob talked about a little bit earlier. And then the social. You saw a little bit of that. There was a whiteboard up there. You could put a map and ask people to let you know where they are across the map so you can get a sense of them. You can take some polls. You saw one of those to figure out how things are going. We also use knowledge checks or use knowledge assessments if you want to do some polls for figuring out if people are tracking with you and getting the content that you're asking them or that you're presenting about. And we also talked about the live chat. So the chat where it's one-to-many and person-to-person or peer-to-peer. So basically, that's what live show is. Do you have any questions about live show at this point? Make sense? Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds like it's Windows 8 only.
It's not, well, it's basically running on Windows 8 for now, yeah. And this is all internal Microsoft. And so we are, kind of our challenge always is to use our technology. So, yep. Okay, so tactics. This is really where I come in. I'm more of the operations part of this team, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the how. So we work with our marketing team, my webcast operations. We've been doing webcasts across Academy for about 5 years. For example, last year, over 80% of Microsoft full-time employees consumed over 650,000 pieces of content on Academy. We know how to do webcasts, so we use that deep expertise to help operationalize the live show. We also work with Will's team on studio and host scheduling. Right now, he's the only host, and we are getting he's scaling a pool of other hosts that can help with this with live show, and Academy Creative Services, which is his team as well. So let's go through the internal process, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about the outward-facing kind of sponsor customer, internal customer-facing. So pricing, the first thing we had to do is look at our costs. Our Academy team is a fixed cost recovery. We don't make any money in our business. So, but we do use a lot of vendors. Our vendors support our whole Academy operations. So we had to figure out how we could break even. There were some fixed costs around studio, Will's time, which is, part of, because he's a Microsoft employee, but Will's time, his script writing abilities, as well as event producers, camera operators, that type of thing. So we broke it down into pre-production, some invitations, project management, day of, camera operators, setup, tear down, and then post-production, reporting, some of the other reporting and editing and uploading then the recorded video onto the Academy portal. So we used all those to come up with pricing, and then that leads us to the next is marketing. So basically what we did is once we figured out what our costs were, we came up with a we call it a promo. Basically, you buy 3 webcasts and you get 1 free live show. So we have been, I told you guys that this is pretty new. So we started the promotion in October, the beginning of October, I think 3rd of October, and we've sold 6 bundles. Right now we have 24 live shows on the books, and we're promoting that through our newsletters, through word of mouth, and also through identifying key early adopters that we could reach out to within the business and say, hey, we know that you're you're kind of hip guy and you like this technology, Mr. VP, would you like to come and try it out? And so we're working with different folks that way as well. And we have a lot of momentum because we almost have more than we can figure out how to standardize and operationalize, which is a really good place to be, and we're working through the operations. So, as I said, not the glorious part, being on camera or anything, but definitely the part where I come in with my team, thinking about scheduling the studio, scheduling the host. Right now, Will Flash, scheduling, getting invitations out, getting an evaluation, getting an attendee list uploaded to our learning management system, all of those background details that make this what we would call a standard learning, content. We'd call this a readiness asset within our organization. So the things that make it real. Yep. That was live and then recorded.
Okay, and then if someone were watching the recording, what would they get in terms of the polls?
Nothing. Yeah, they wouldn't get that.
So it only happens.
Right.
But you can record it and watch it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's a really great question. The idea is that you can't do the polls, or they're really hard to do when you're watching it on demand after the fact. So that's the actual benefit of participating in the live show if you can at all, so that you're part of those that interactivity of that event. Yep.
You mentioned the link earlier. Can you go into a little more detail about how this coincides with Link?
It's run on Link.
It's run on Link?
It's run on Link technology. So basically, as you saw in that in the video, there's three sections to it. The upper section is video, but you can make that bigger. The right-hand side is a PowerPoint presentation, and the bottom left is chat. You can resize any of those, but you have those 3 components on your screen at all time. And
we did a Link broadcast. We've done a couple of them. It's localized, not company-wide, but groups of 50 to 100 people. And the interface didn't look like that. I'm just wondering, how does that, how do you get this? How do you integrate it? Is this like an option you get on top of Link, or?
That's a really great question. Because this is internal only right now, nobody's tested it externally. No, this is not for sale or out there. We're really pushing the limits to Link right now with adding all this video and these feeds. We actually have encoders that are moving from camera 1 to camera 2 to camera, that type of thing in the background. So we're not ready to go out with this. This is really kind of pushing the envelope internally right now. So I'm not surprised you wouldn't see something like that. And it may also be the version of Link, because we're just upgrading to new versions as well.
No demo options available right now?
No demo options right now. Not right now, but we never know. So with operations, I too am running out of time. Sorry about that. So I don't know how much people care about operational success. This is actually one of the other things I spend a lot of time on within the organization. But what we need to do is manually upload the attendee list into our learning management system, attached 11 question questionnaire. 2 of the key questions that the organization looks at to measure success is I was satisfied with this live show, which we call the overall satisfaction. And then this live show builds skills or knowledge to improve how I sell, market, and or provide services to our customers and partners. And basically, we have a target, a world-class target that is we look at to see how this is doing. This is a Kirkpatrick level 1 assessment, so it's perceived, it's the students' perception of the course. We have a 5-point rating scale and a fairly complex NSAT calculation. Basically, anything that scores a 3 or a 4 is at 100, which is really poor. So what you're wanting to do is get more strongly agrees. And in addition, usually we're looking at 150. I think the target right now, the initial target for live shows is at 150. So people are going to have to be pretty happy with this for that to meet that target. And that's we were debating between 150 and 170. So I think we landed on 150. So that's really kind of the internal process. And then the external process is what you would see if you came to me and said, Molly, I'm interested in doing a live show. You'd hear about it for some way. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We'd confirm the details. We'd set up a kickoff meeting. We would run through, make sure we understand. You have your scripts written, and you're really clear on when you're doing this and the details. We do a dry run in studio, usually a couple days to a week beforehand, running through the scripts, the PowerPoints with the host, and then we do have the live show on the day of the event. So one of the things that's great is, like I said, we have a lot of interest. We have, for example, we have a virtual career fair happening, and if that person is doing like 3 on one day, so you can actually do 2 or 3 in a day, 1 or 2 hour time period. So it's very flexible, and we come up. The price that we're charging is $3,000, and a regular webcast is $1,500. So that's our internal cost that we're charging to other Microsoft folks. So that is the end of my presentation, and I wanted to see what other questions you have, or comments, feedback. Yes?
I have a couple of questions.
Could you speak into the mic? Would you mind?
Oh, I could.
That'd be great. That way I can accurately represent your question.
I have a couple of questions. One, the timeline you just showed, or sort of the steps, what kind of timeline from interest they contact you to it's done? That's
a great question, and when I was getting feedback on this presentation, I had that same question. And we are so new at this, it's really hard to tell you. So it can be. We had a call yesterday, and somebody said they wanted it today. That's a little hard, that 1-day turnaround time. That's probably not going to happen. But, usually it's a week or 2. But with the studio scheduling, it could be out for a month. So basically what you'd have is that you'd let me know when you're interested, and you'd probably let me know you're interested in October or November. October's almost over, so a couple weeks. Then we'd schedule it, and then we do a kickoff call as soon as we can. So within a week of the interest, then we do so I'm kind of skipping a little bit, but let me go back to that. So what I would say is, if you're interested, we do a kickoff meeting within a week. Okay, so that's for sure. And then we'd also do the dry run within a week of your live show. And then the time in between here is just the difference, based on when you wanted to schedule it. So it could be, really probably the shortest turnaround time would be a week, although that would be a little tricky. And right now it looks like we're about at a month. We are at the situation where I said we have about 24 coming in since the beginning of October. So we're really looking to do 2 things. One is looking at other studio space other than what we have internally in our building and in our organization. So we have other Microsoft studios that are letting us use a studio, and then Will Flash as the host is finding other folks who he could train up to be other qualified hosts. So we have a bench of folks to come on, because that's really it really kind of makes the difference, is having someone who has that host ability to make it a top high-level quality production, because anybody really can do a webinar, and you kind of know that. You've heard different people doing webinars, and there's varying degrees of success based on your speakers, all presentation skills, a variety of things. So, other questions? Yes? You can just.
Short question.
Yeah.
I was just curious how you're able to charge so much less for this versus a traditional webcast.
Our traditional webcast is $1,500, and this is $3,000.
Oh, so it's actually more.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I heard
No.
15,000.
Maybe I said that.
No wonder
Yeah, I would be out of business pretty quickly at Microsoft if I charged that much. I know everybody do it themselves for sure. Other questions? If I wanted to show you Windows 8, we have I don't have my laptop's not working, but we also have our Academy on. Can I switch it over real quick? Academy on Windows 8 and the traditional. If you guys are interested in seeing it, where's the audio or the video cord? Yeah, switch it to mine, because mine has, if you don't mind, mine has, I want, yeah, no, it doesn't even have to be the video feed. I just wanted to show what Academy looks like in Windows 8. Thank you. If you don't want to stay and see, it's fine, but I'll just show you real quick, because this guy is very fast. I'm causing lots of, I'm not used to not doing it myself, so I appreciate your help. So yep. This one? Cool. So this is Academy. Ooh. So this is the normal Academy, and this is the traditional Academy, not in Windows 8. And so let's see. Let's see if I can show you the Academy. We just moved it over to Windows 8, and you'll see those little cards that I sent. We did it this summer. My colleague who's on the platform side with SharePoint moved it to Academy. It's not working. Yeah, well, I'm trying to show this, and it doesn't want to show. Let's go second screen only. Try second screen only. You can duplicate. I tried duplicate, but there it is. So this is the Windows 8 version, which is cool, really cool, and really designed for the swipe. So I'm not swiping because this is my PC, and I don't have my Surface yet. So trying to get. Whoops. Okay, now you see my Windows 8 start screen, and I go up. There it is. Back to Academy. I'm not sure. Maybe I closed it out. It may not run. Anyway, technology. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate your sticking here with me, and let me know if you have any questions.